This is News 3 at 6.
Good evening. Damage caused by this week's record rainfall is now estimated at more than $100 million. County officials say it covers public and private property and could go up after this weekend. It also does not include state estimates, which would be higher because of potential road repairs. As more rain falls today and into the weekend, here is a look at the current flood risk map in the city of Madison. The majority of the entire east side of the isthmus running for a couple of miles along streets near the Yahara River, the area most impacted. The city says flooding in that area could last for more than a week. We have live team coverage of this week's flooding. Crews in Madison and Mazomanie tonight. But we start with meteorologist Dave Caulfield, who has been monitoring our chances for more rain this weekend. Dave?
Well, Eric, we have been spared so far with that rain, but we could have a few showers and thunderstorms tonight, and then again on Sunday. The heavy rain threat is at least there in isolated spots. Here's what Doppler track looks like. Most of the rain today so far has been across northern Wisconsin, but we're watching that batch of showers and thunderstorms closer to the Minnesota and Iowa state line. That continues to track south and east and could impact portions of southern Wisconsin closer to about 9 or 10, even close to the midnight hour. Doppler track showing just a few light showers, not causing any problems. 24-hour precipitation estimate, not impressive, just a couple of tenths of an inch of rain, and hopefully it will stay that way. Downtown Madison, some drizzle over the last hour. Visibility is improving, though. Temperatures have really stayed steady in the 60s all day. This evening, temperatures really not falling all that much. Mostly cloudy, and we do still have that chance of a shower or storm. Gary will track that chance of showers and storms tonight and talk about what to expect on Sunday in your first alert forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Dave, thank you. Roads all across Madison and Dane County are closed right now. Madison leaders expect some of the flooded roads downtown to be closed for several weeks. They say the flooding is occurring because rising lake levels are backing up through the storm sewer. Roads on the isthmus are most impacted. You can find a list of all the current and new road closures on our website, channel3000.com. And parking restrictions remain in place on Willie Street. Public parking garages are available free of charge from 9 at night until 7 in the morning. The city is encouraging people not to park in low-lying flood-prone areas. Leaders are also asking people to use public transportation whenever possible this weekend, and that's why Madison Metro is offering free rides over the weekend because of the flooding. The water will also likely bring reduced service, detours, and delays. The free rides could last into next week, depending on the condition of downtown streets. And the city offering free sand and ready-to-fill sandbags all over the city. Most of the pickup spots are at city parks or public parking lots. You can find a link to this map at our website, channel3000.com. Sandbags at these locations are only for City of Madison residents. National Guard members are also in town to help with the sandbagging efforts. As 1,700 households are currently at risk for flooding, Mayor Soglin says those sandbags are the best defense in preparing, from business owners to homeowners. Dozens of people loaded up at Tenney Park and other sites today. And News 3's Rose Schmidt live on the isthmus now to tell us what you need to know. Rose?
Well, Mayor Soglin says when it comes to flooding downtown, there are several worst-case scenarios, one of those being 5 or more inches of rain, but it seems that is unlikely to happen. But if it were to happen, sandbags probably wouldn't do much good. But in the meantime, people on the isthmus are just grabbing shovels and doing what they can.
So far, this is my first load, probably 15, but there's another car that's probably taken at least 2 full loads.
Corey Swadley expects it'll take about 150 bags.
One at a time,
to reach his goal.
With the property owner, we are trying to sandbag the whole building to make sure that the water does not get inside.
Corey and his wife own a shop called You Frame It on the corner of Johnson and Patterson, in the middle of the flood zone on the isthmus.
If you look around you, you can see the water's coming up on all sides, and we hope that all of this effort is a waste of time.
Efforts, though, that Mayor Soglin says likely won't be a waste.
Sandbagging will be effective, and on that question, so far 40,000 bags have been filled.
Mayor Soglin is asking the county and state for help amid those rising waters.
Folks who are volunteering are more than welcome to participate in assisting in putting in the sandbags, which is our best defense.
Along with about a dozen members of the National Guard, Soglin says everyone is welcome to pitch in and tackle the floodwaters. But good news so far.
We've had less rain than anticipated in the first wave of storms that came in today.
The city will be monitoring the rain that's ahead, and of course, so will people who own homes or businesses in the area.
We're just going to keep going and keep trying to help that landlord because that building's been there a really long time.
If you live in one of those 1,700 households on the isthmus that is in the flood zone, you should be prepared that as water levels could rise, your power could go out. And in that case, make sure that your electronics are charged, you have backup battery sources, and don't go to the grocery store this week and buy perishable food items because if they're in the fridge, you'll likely spoil. So back to you now.
All right, Rose Schmidt live downtown. Rose, thank you. People around Madison are wondering what will happen if we get more rain over the weekend. News 3's Jamie Perez caught up with people stopping by the Tenney Locks to see if the dam will hold up.
I'm here at the Tenney Locks. This seems to be quite the place to go. If you've been down here today, you can really hear the water rushing out that's caused some of those downtown streets to flood. Like I said, a big attraction for a lot of people who just want to see what's going on. I got the chance to talk to a lot of them, many of them saying this has been quite the experience. It's quite literally the calm before the storms. Madison is not in need of any more water, but I guess we can't stop Mother Nature from running her course.
It's just cool, exciting to see the force of nature that nobody can get around it.
Some are excited to hear the rushing water, waiting to see what happens. Meanwhile, the lake is quiet, for now. But Tenney Lock unleashes a continuous rush of water. Holy buckets, right?
Where is it all gonna go?
It's pretty wild, seeing all this water.
Most say it's crazy.
I've never seen anything like this in my entire life.
It's scary.
Everything flooded. There's ducks floating around in the parking lot.
It's
impressive.
For some, it's just bad luck following them around.
Moving to Madison was one of the best things I ever did in my life, so I'm kind of, I don't know, my bad luck just kind of follows me, I guess.
It's still unfathomable to imagine what will happen after this weekend.
That they're talking about the dam or the locks being compromised is a crazy thought when you look at where the water already is.
But others are looking at it as a better this than that type of deal.
Better to do a minor flooding than let the dam breach and flood half of Madison. So.
The water levels will continue to rise with more rainfall. But until then, we're all on standby. In Madison, Jamie Perez, WISC News 3.
And Madison Garbage making special runs on Monday to pick up things damaged during the flooding. The Streets Division asking you to contact them directly by visiting the city's website if you have large items or large pieces of carpet that needs to be tossed. Many in Western Dane County are dealing with flood damage and aren't sure what to do next. So dozens are turning out today to a multi-agency resource center in Mazomanie, and that's where our Madeline O'Neill joins us live tonight. Maddie?
Eric, since the doors opened here at Mazomanie Elementary School at about 1, it's been steadily busy with dozens of area residents coming in to ask for help from agencies that are all here in the same place. That includes the Red Cross, Salvation Army, and government organizations. Some I spoke with today say they lost almost everything in Monday's storm, and many don't have flood insurance. That includes Penny Klein, who's here today after her farm sustained severe damage. She's trying to figure out her next step.
You don't know what to do first or how to do what, and you know, it's never happened. I've helped with flood cleanup for other places and municipalities, but it's different when it's you.
This multi-agency resource center in Mazomanie is open for about another hour tonight, but another will open up tomorrow in Middleton at Black Hawk Church. That will be open from 10 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. Eric.
Important help for those folks. Maddie O'Neill live in Mazo tonight. Maddie, thank you. There are other ways to help. A list of banks here throughout Dane County that have been set up for flood assistance and disaster recovery accounts. You can also help fill sandbags in Monona and Middleton. And in Madison, you can donate to the Salvation Army of Dane County, the Goodwill, and Second Harvest Food Bank. Some weekend events like Curd Fest have been canceled, but others like the Dane County Farmers Market and Orton Park Festival on the east side should go on as scheduled. If you're planning to attend any of those events on the Isthmus, plan your alternate routes ahead of time and always put your safety first. News 3 will continue to have multiple crews out in Dane County throughout the weekend, and updates on the flooding in our area on air and online, channel3000.com. New information about the misconduct case involving the DeForest police chief tonight, and a man writes, shot Julie in his planner. Well, police are releasing today about last Friday's deadly shooting in Wanakee.
I'm meteorologist Gary Canolti live in Middleton. One of those festivals that's going on this weekend is the Good Neighbor Festival here in Middleton over at Fireman's Park. Come on out here and enjoy some good food and fun. I'll have more details and weather in just a few minutes.
The woman accused of killing a man in Janesville will not face charges. The district attorney announced no charges would be filed against 20-year-old Serena Stone in the death of 26-year-old Robert Thomas Jr. Officers were called to the hospital Wednesday morning for a man who had been stabbed. Thomas ended up dying. Stone was arrested on a tentative charge of first-degree reckless homicide. After reviewing the reports, the district attorney says there is no question that Stone killed Thomas, but the state lacks evidence that would prove she intended to cause his death. Police said the pair were known to have a violent relationship, and Thomas had been arrested for hitting Stone in the past. We're also learning more about the deadly shooting last week in Waunakee. Court records show Ronald Jenny, the man accused of shooting and killing his neighbor a week ago, wrote "Shot Julie" in his planner. After Jenny was taken into custody last week, he asked police, quote, "What is the status of the person I attempted to shoot?" The complaint says the woman he shot, Julie Anderson, was pronounced dead at the hospital. Jenny told police, quote, "A man has a limit. I guess it was worth what I did, what I had to go through anyway," end quote. Anderson's son and grandson witnessed that shooting. Jenny is now in the Dane County Jail being held on $1 million bail. The Village of DeForest police chief is resigning. Dan Furseth faced several counts of misconduct within the department, which stem from a video where Furseth can be heard making racial comments. According to the village board president, an agreement was accepted and signed at yesterday's special board meeting. As part of that agreement, Furseth will receive a lump sum payment of about $71,000. He has 7 days to change his mind. Otherwise, the agreement is final August 30th. Just 74 days now until the election. Governor Scott Walker's former Department of Corrections secretary is out with a new book. News 3 sat down this week with Ed Wall, and in that book, Wall claims he was wrongly fired from his law enforcement job by the Attorney General Brad Schimmel after Wall had tried to return to it after his stint as corrections secretary. He describes both the governor and the attorney general as deceptive and dishonest and says he became the scapegoat for an investigation into the state's youth prisons.
What I want is for the people of Wisconsin just to know, to have a different perspective of what the two people going for the highest elected offices in our state are like before they go to the polls.
Sunday night at 10, we'll have more of my sit-down interview with Ed Wall, including reaction from the governor and the state Republican Party. Again, that's Sunday night on News 3 at 10. Welcome back. A sign of support carried out on the gridiron. Adam Duxter joins us from Sun Prairie as players on the football team there prove they are Sun Prairie strong.
Windows boarded up, Main Street still blocked off. All reminders of the explosion that destroyed parts of downtown Sun Prairie more than 1 month ago. But
all right, that was the incorrect video there. We'll have more on the Sun Prairie jerseys in just a bit. Right now we go to Gary Canalti. He's got the latest on our forecast. Gary?
Well, Eric, I'm live at Good Neighbor Festival in Middleton. You know, it's a good thing for this town. After all the rain that fell earlier this week, Good Neighbor Festival is on. A lot of people are here already. We've had the kids parade go through, and I'll talk a little bit more about the festival itself after weather. First things first, we need to see if there's any more rain in the forecast. Well, the good news is in the short term, we're not expecting much in the way of rain for the next couple of hours. But let's start out by looking at the forecast for tonight. There'll be a chance of showers and thunderstorms mainly after about 9 or 10 o'clock. Tomorrow should be dry. High temperatures will be in the lower 80s. And then there'll be another chance of thunderstorms mainly Sunday afternoon. So hopefully much of the weekend will stay dry or at least rain-free. But we do have an alert day in the forecast for Sunday. There's the potential for some severe weather as well as some heavy downpours. Now, who gets, 2 or 3 inches of rain and who gets a quarter of an inch? Tough to say, but there will be the potential for some heavier rainfall. The cloud coverage today has really held our temperatures down, which is good. That's kept thunderstorms from really becoming more widespread. And as we check out Doppler radar, you'll see our first temperatures, those temperatures are in the 60s. So that's keeping the atmosphere a little bit more stable and keeping the threat for rain down. But Doppler radar right now, not seeing much around here. Now, the precipitation estimate shows very little rain has fallen, just some light showers earlier today. But current Doppler radar, a few sprinkles here and there. A couple of showers look like they're starting to develop down to the south. A little wider radar perspective. We're watching eastern Iowa to see if we get some more thunderstorm development. Right now, most of that is in south central Minnesota, north central Iowa, but some of that may start to move in our direction later on this evening. So we'll have to see how long it takes to get to Middleton. For Sunday, the severe weather outlook does have a slight risk of severe thunderstorms. High winds and hail, the main threats. Could be some heavy downpours, maybe even an isolated tornado. Very tough to say this far out, but something to watch. And again, the heavy rainfall potential is probably the biggest concern. Most areas picking up a quarter to a half inch of rain, but there'll be amounts in excess of 1 or 2 inches in the heavier thunderstorms. Live view at the downtown Madison from the Edgewater Skycam and the almanac for today. Our high temperature is 67, low temperature at 63. Right now, our temperatures stayed pretty steady through much of the evening and afternoon. We've been in the 60s. Right now, we're at 64. Just a little sprinkle at the airport. Winds, though, pretty brisk out of the south-southeast at 16 miles per hour. As we check out Weather Track, you can see lots of clouds, some showers and thunderstorms, mainly in the northern part of the Midwest. But eventually, we'll start to clear out for tomorrow once all of this moves through. And then hopefully we'll see better conditions. There's current temperatures in the 60s around here. Our forecast for tonight, chance for a shower or thunderstorm mainly later on this evening. Our low temperature will drop off to about 61 degrees by tomorrow morning, and there'll be some patchy areas of fog as well. For tomorrow, look for a high temperature of 81. The sky's turning partly sunny, and it will be a little more humid. As we check out Future Track, you'll see there'll be chances for showers and thunderstorms mainly late evening into the early overnight hours. For the most part, I think these will be light or fast moving, if nothing else. Saturday should be dry during the day. Those temperatures climbing up into the lower 80s with partly sunny skies. And then we'll look for another round of showers and thunderstorms later on Sunday afternoon, probably after noon or into the afternoon hours. Rainfall amounts, quarter to a half inch, but there could be some localized 1 or 2 inch amounts and heavier thunderstorms. As we look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, you'll see those temperatures start warming up after through the weekend into the early next week. There'll be some chances for thunderstorms, a little bit of a cool down with dry weather Wednesday and Thursday, and then we warm up again for the Labor Day holiday weekend with some chances for showers and thunderstorms. Now again, we're at the Good Neighbor Festival. It's just behind Middleton High School at Fireman's Park, 7400 Lee Street. They've got games here. They've got rides for the kids, lots of food. The festival runs until midnight tonight, from 9 until midnight tomorrow, and then on Sunday it runs from 9 until 5. So if you have a chance, get on out to the Good Neighbor Festival in Middleton.
Well, as you heard Gary say, it's going to be a wet one out there tonight, especially for high school football. But the games must go on. We're live from our Game of the Week. That's next in sports. Okay, so the games must go on despite some wet weather throughout the area tonight. Still, lots of games will be played. That includes our Prep Mania Game of the Week between Middleton and Verona. RJ Wilson joins us live from the home of the Wildcats with our Game of the Week crew. Good evening, Jay.
Hi, Melissa. Good evening, everyone. Well, it feels like October, not only from a weather sense, but from a game importance sense. We'll get to that in a little bit, but we haven't had much rain here at Curtis Jones Field all day. The field's in really good shape, all things considered. Yeah, it's a little soggy, but we're expecting a great matchup between Middleton and Verona, as usual. Bill Brophy, Alan Minard with us. And Brof, it's only week 2 of the regular season, but boy, this is one huge game.
Yeah, for all the talk of rain, I think wind's going to be a factor in this one, about 20 miles an hour, and could impact the game, which is a great matchup. Always is when Middleton and Verona play. The players are different. The coaches are different. Middleton's got 2 coaches. Tim Simon's got Jason Pertzborn as his associate coach. Different guys running the club. Bryce Carey was an all-conference defensive player last year. He's the quarterback, and a guy Verona's going to have to be cognizant of tonight. Aubrey Dawkins, J.C. Dawkins, is an exciting receiver. So there'll be stars aplenty. Both teams like the way their lines play. Again, when these clubs play one another, it's always a good rivalry.
And Alan Minard, you know both of these programs extremely well, and you were just telling us a little while ago how impressed you are with both of these programs.
Yeah, you're talking 2 of the elite programs in the Madison area. Coaches that have been established a long time with coaching staffs with 3 or 4 guys with 20 years experience on both sides of the ball. You know, this is just a great matchup on a beautiful night, and it's going to be fun.
Beautiful? Good enough.
Hey, it's football,
yeah.
And you got 2 of the best teams in the area. It doesn't get better than that.
Enough said. It's Middleton at Verona. We're on live on TVW and Channel3000.com. Kickoff just after 7. Melissa, back to you.
All right, thanks so much. We'll have highlights and post-game tonight on News 3 at 10. Well, most of the games were moved up to earlier kickoffs today, but a few postponements as well. Madison West versus Madison East, originally supposed to be at Breese Stevens Field tonight. They've been moved to Lucier Stadium, that game at 1 p.m. That one will be followed by McFarland and Jefferson at 6 p.m. actually now. Janesville Craig and Janesville Parker also moved to 7 p.m. tomorrow. Well, the Jordy Nelson reunion game tonight in Oakland as the Packers visit the Raiders for preseason game number 3 and the first road test for this current squad. Kickoff a late one tonight, 9:30 p.m. On offense, expect to see Brett Hundley and Deshaun Kaiser battle for the QB2 spot again. And on defense, still stiff competition in the secondary. More movement on the mound. Corey Knable optioned to AAA. Joaquim Soria back from the 10-day disabled list, and Zach Davies reinstated from the DL and optioned down as well. The Brewers had a shot to get Matt Harvey from the Reds after making a waiver claim, but that was reportedly a no-go. So despite all the drama, Brewers hosting the Pirates tonight, sending Wade Miley to the mound. The Brewers virtually in a tie with the Rockies for the second wild card spot, a half game rather, behind the Cardinals. So a lot happening tonight, but of course we're watching the high school football games. Hopefully most of the guys will stay dry.
Yeah, and the weather a big factor for a lot of folks heading out tonight to those games.
Yeah, so far most of us have stayed dry. A couple of light showers across southern Wisconsin, but really not a lot. There is a chance of some additional showers and thunderstorms later tonight into the early overnight hours. Your forecast first showing dry weather tomorrow with temperatures in the low 80s, then more rain comes Sunday.
All right, Dave, thank you. Thanks for joining us for News 3 at 6. We're back with all those football highlights tonight at 10. Have a good one.